One of the things I'm going to show you is how hard the steering is right now. I mean, there is no one finger steer or two finger steers. You got to really grab hold of the steering wheel and pull it. Right here is our steering shaft, our rectifier, and up here is our steering shaft that goes to the steering wheel. As you can see, there's my steering wheel and there's the front of the dash. So there's really no reason for me to take my dashboard off of the Rhino. Yeah, at this time we're going to go ahead and get our rectifier here out of the way. It also takes a 10mm socket to take the two bolts out. We're going to take this bolt right here out of our steering shaft. Okay, I'm going to take that bolt right there out of the shaft. In order to make it easier on me, I had to turn my steering wheel. Okay, as we can see, we're going to have to take these 4 bolts right here off of the steering wheel because our shaft will not clear the steering wheel gear. Now we'll go up here and take these 4 bolts out. It takes a 12mm socket so that we can get the steering shaft off of the steering wheel gear. I want to show you how I got my ratchet up in there. I got all the bolts broke loose. Got one out. I'm getting ready to take that one right there out. I got the 2 bottom bolts out and I got the 2 upper bolts loose. So I'm just going to push down on my steering wheel and take the steering shaft out. I'm going to lift it up from the bottom. I'll get this out of the way. And put these 2 front bolts back in and tighten all 4 of these bolts back up. I'll put a universal on my 1/4" ratchet. It gave me a little bit more distance so I can get a little bit more grab to my ratchet. I got these bolts in here just as tight, if not tighter than they already were. This is our easy steering shaft. This will go to the top by the steering motor. This will go down to the bottom to your steering on the front. Go ahead and remove your bolt before you place it in there, and then we'll stick it on the bottom here in the front. If you look down in here, you'll see where the front steering shaft has been installed. Now we'll go ahead and tighten that bolt down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put our U-joint on. Both ends are different. This end goes to the easy steer motor. This end goes to your steering shaft. Pull the bolt out. Now what we're going to do, as you can see here, turn your steering wheel around. Okay, you'll have a notch right there. Yep, you got a little bitty notch right there. That is where your bolt will go through once you put this knuckle on there. So we're going to get it on there just like this. We're going to line it up. We're going to put the bolt through it. We're going to tighten it down. And we got to tighten down. I got the motor. I'm going to get the bracket here. I'll put it on there like this. Got 3 bolts that will supply with the kit. I'm going to take each one of those and put them in the mounting holes, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the bolts. Now we'll go ahead and take this over and put it on our steering shaft. Make sure that your steering wheel is straight the way you want it. Now we'll go ahead and put our easy steer motor onto the shafts. We got to take these bolts out. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and tighten this top U-bolt down. And down here on the bottom, we're going to tighten that one. But we still have a second one here that slides up and down. We're going to leave that one alone for right now until we get it adjusted and get this mounted up tight. And then we're going to tighten it down. Okay, now I'm just going to leave it laying here for right now because I'm going to go ahead and get my plate and put it on there. Now this is the other plate that comes with the kit. We're going to put it up in here. We're going to take our factory bolts, put them right here just to hold this in place. What we have to do now is drill 2 holes right here. Okay, on the instructions it's showing a totally different mount on a Rhino. It's showing that there's a bolt there, and you're supposed to measure this from the center to over here to the center at 6 inches. Well, mine don't have that bolt. Use a 5/16 drill bit to drill your holes. Okay, I have our plate, I have our control box, and I have it mounted with the bolts that were supplied with the kit. I have it mounted to where the outlets here face toward the passenger side, because the motor wiring harnesses will not reach if I turn this control box around the other way and make it face the driver's side. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hook up some of the wires because it's really tight and I don't want to have to try and plug these in with where this box is going to be mounted. So this is our bag of wires. Okay, we have the harness. As you can see here, this wire here will go here. Snap it in. Now this wire here looks to me like it will go right here. We'll snap that in place. So I'm going to take this hole and I'm going to plug this up. It comes from the motor. It's going right there. And I have one more plug. Right there, make sure they're all nice and secure. Okay, I put my rectifier bolts in just to hold the plate in place while I'll put the bolts in it and get them tightened down. You'll be using a 13mm wrench, 13mm socket. Go ahead and put these on and bolt them down. A washer on each end. I'll tell you what, this one here was a little tough. I had to use both hands, come up from underneath here with the washer, and I came down through the top with the nut to get it on there while I was holding the bolt in. That was a tough one to get in. Here's the other 2 bolts, washers, and fiber lock nuts or nylon. This will mount the motor to the bracket. Now we'll go ahead and put these bolts here. Right here in this plate. Got it all bolted up. I have to put the rectifier on and hook the wiring up still yet. It took me 2 hours of tweaking to keep the steering shaft from hitting that switch right there. That is my brake light switch, I do believe. I'll just tie up the wires, but that was a 2-hour process right there. I had to turn the rectifier upside down and mash the wires up underneath the dashboard. Don't like that, but that's the only way it would work unless I drill more holes and mount it somewhere else. Yeah, hopefully this video will help to make it quicker and easier for you so you'll know exactly what you're getting into. Maybe you can do it in a different way than I have done it. We got a lot of wire, so we're just going to wire tie it back in here. I'll run my wires through here. I'm going to put it underneath here. Put the excess. What's that? I'll throw the excess wiring down in this little hole right here, just to get it out of the way. These wires, too small. Will not fit my battery terminals. Got it all done. As you can see, our wire is nice and neatly tucked inside there. I'm not going to hook the white wire on the ignition switch. Instead, I'm going to hook the white wire right there on the light switch. The lights always have to have power going to them when the key is on. There's the wire to our lights. The brown wire on mine is the hot wire. when the key is turned on. Okay, we got it hooked on there. We'll cut the excess wire off. We'll tape it and plug it back up to the light switch. Okay, right now it's on. You don't hear any noise whatsoever. It only works when you turn the steering wheel. Steering wheel turns pretty easy. I still have an issue with my shaft hitting that switch that activates my back brake lights.
This is the switch for the back brake lights. I disconnected from the brake pedal, pulled it out. I adjusted the bracket to where the switch is more level instead of up in an angle toward the steering shaft. Put it back together and it works. Yeah, the bolt doesn't hit it anymore. So that fixed my issue.
Okay, let's see what the difference is in the power steering when we turn the key on. Turns pretty easy. A lot easier than it turned before. Now see how it does when I drive it. If I can turn it with 2 fingers now. Couldn't do that before. 1 finger. It's still a little hard with 1 finger, but 2 fingers is good.